What was banned in your school because of a crazy incident? In my middle school, they banned kids from saying, "Whoop, there it is." Yep. If you said it, you got detention. Whoop, there it is. I can just imagine a teacher freaking out, who the frick said that? Are you gonna whoop me? There it is. They banned running at my elementary school. If you ran during recess, you'd be sitting on the bench for the rest of the break. My friend ran into a teacher accidentally while we were playing tag. She didn't fall or anything, but it was probably a bit of a surprise. This prompted Ms. Mean to punish the whole school, so she self-righteously banned running. The next day, Ms. Mean met with all the 5th grade classes to justify her decision. She said people only need 1 hour of exercise a week to be healthy. It was ridiculously stupid, and that's not any sort of justification for the decision. The tension in the room was palpable. My 5th grade teacher just sat at his desk, chuckling at the sheer ridiculous nature of the whole thing. The next day, the entire 4th grade and 5th grade sat down by the play structure for the entirety of recess. When they told us to stop sitting together via megaphone, everyone walked around the perimeter of the kickball field and sang songs together. My friends and I made a ton of flyers to bring back running. While we were handing them out before school, the principal grabbed one. We thought we were in huge trouble. It turns out the principal was never told about this ban on running. Mean old lady was taken off yard duty. I don't think she works at my elementary school anymore. Viva la revolution. I love a good story about kids standing up against stupid rules. This story could be a children's book. Matilda 2, Need for Speed. Sorry. Shaving your head for cancer. To set the scene, I went to a private all-girls school. If you had cancer and lost your hair, I guess they would allow it, but they would make you wear a school-colored bandana or a wig. A girl in our year actually had cancer and lost her hair, and she wore a bandana to school. As a show of support, this alternative girl, think Janice from Mean Girls, decided to shave her head for cancer awareness. The school was all for it. We had a fundraiser and then had the actual shaving of the head at school. She then refused to immediately cover her freshly bald head and was sent home for the day. She then refused to cover her freshly bald head at all because she said it's nothing to be ashamed of. And that's kind of the point of doing it. She was suspended until she agreed to wear a bandana or a wig. Eventually she missed so much school that her parents and the school had a big sit down, and in the end she agreed to wear a wig. The next day she turned up in the most ridiculous Florence Henderson wig I've ever seen, and it was awesome. And no one was allowed to ever shave their head for cancer again. ... They would tell children with cancer that they were required to wear a school-colored bandana. What the actual frick? Hey, I just came in to tell you that I have cancer and may be out for some days. Well, okay. Here's a complimentary cancer bandana for when you come back. You better fucking wear it. I got cancer my senior year of high school, and I made the decision not to make it a point to cover my head. I got special permission from the principal to wear a hat to school, which I did occasionally. Emails were sent out to the teachers so that I didn't get scolded for wearing a hat. Then one day I get pulled out of class and sent to the vice principal's office. While the principal was okay with me going bald, the vice principal was very against it. She sat me down and asked my reasons for not wearing a hat. Asked why I didn't buy a wig. Offered to buy me a school cap. In the end I left her office very upset, but still unwilling to change my mind. A couple of months later, one of my teachers gave me a hat that was given to her for me by the vice principal as an apology. She died of breast cancer later in the year. You have to wear a hat. No. Sends hat as an apology. Worst apology ever. That's fucking stupid. What kind of an idiotic school board do you have? I don't know. There were very strict rules about what could and could not be done, i.e. no makeup. The shortest length of hair should be to the collar. No earrings. No jewelry. White underwear only, etc. Apparently my high school used to have an archery club. For the mentally handicapped students. You kinda see where this is going. Someone got shot with an arrow. tar_tar. --. Boxing gloves. Because a couple of years ago, a few guys started a fight club in one of the bathroom stalls. Inside a single stall. You sure that was fighting and not another word that starts with F? F-pooping. FFFFF fornication. Bringing your own water bottles. It was only a matter of time until vodka was involved. I just drank a fifth of vodka. Dare me to drive? Dear M. I wrote you but you still ain't callin'. I ain't mad. I just think it's fricked up that you don't answer fans. That was banned at my high school too. I had to go to the doctors in the middle of the week they banned them, and I got him to write note to them saying that water bottles were medically necessary for me to have. I was the only one drinking from the water for the better part of a month, until they realized it was stupid. This got banned in our school and we staged a protest as athletes. We needed water throughout the day and going to the drinking fountain just wasn't doing it. As such, the new policy was that teachers had to smell our water bottles. That was fun. Glue sticks. There was a fad where people would throw glue sticks onto the ceilings all around the school. It became a big game about who can get one in the most bizarre place. This thread is full of great ideas that I haven't gotten my school to ban yet. Sharpies permanent markers. Senior year, a group of kids organized a knife fight throughout the school. Basically, the people participating would wear plain white shirts and be split into gangs. Each gang was armed with a different color marker. The goal was to stab people on other gangs as many times as possible. After a couple injuries and couple people who accidentally wore white that day, the administration got more than a little angry. This sounds like a lot of fun. I would have participated. Students weren't allowed to use the elevator after a couple was caught having sex in it. Our high school only allowed students with injuries, and the fat teachers to use ours. When I was little, I used to pray that I would break my leg just so I could go on the elevator. Sure, I used one every day at my apartment building. But this one was special. It was a school elevator. They banned scarves in my high school because apparently the first-year principal got the idea in her head that only gang members wear scarves. The weirdest part was we lived in an upstate New York town that never had anything close to a gang problem. Long story short, every student protested by wearing scarves the next day. CNN caught wind of it, and my school got national attention for the first and last time. Shortly after that, the principal was fired. Scarves were allowed again and everyone stopped wearing them like usual. TLDR principal banned scarves. Got fired almost immediately after. Because Paddington Bear is so gangster. Pokemon cards were banned at my elementary school. People complained about shizzy trades and it was basically used as currency. One kid refused to comply. My teacher made him go buy a clear backpack. It was a private school, so she apparently could do that shiz so she could check his shiz without having to dig through it. Funny thing is, I have no fucking idea why that kid kept bringing them when no one else in the school did. What the frick were you doing with them, Matthew? He was fighting the man. You go, Matthew. Flipping pennies. Group of people would flip a penny and if it landed on the side you called out, you would cheer. If it didn't, you still cheered. Administration said that this was being used as a distraction to the teachers so that fights could go on elsewhere without them knowing. One guy got suspended for penny flipping. We had something similar at my middle school. Guys would stand in a circle, then someone would throw a handful of change in the center. Then they would beat the shiz out of each other for the pennies. It was not a great school. Life in a private Jewish school is rough. My high school banned the word meep. You know, like from the Muppets. Teachers thought meep was used to mean something else, like something sexual. Nope. It was just funny to murmur it in the middle of class. So, none of the teachers were alive in the 1980s? You just reminded me of my school banning whale songs. For the same reason. They thought it was some crude catcall or something. I don't know. It was just really funny to make the noise of a whale and hear someone from the other side of the room call back. It really got going when someone from another classroom would call back, and then another room. Whoop. Woo. Yoga pants. Or so they tried. Me and a bunch of friends, we all guys, got together and wore them to school the day that the ban was supposed to start. The administration seemed helplessly amused and were forced to lift the ban. A wild boner appears. In my elementary school, my friends used to play pretend to be addicted to drugs and addictive substances like alcohol and smoking. One student came up with the idea that cocaine was a lot similar to sugar. So students started smuggling sugar around the school. Some genius ended up putting Kool-Aid mix into his, and then everyone started calling it happy crack. This underground kiddie drug ring ran for about 4 to 5 weeks under the school's radar until a teacher caught 2 kids making a deal. Then everyone who was involved had to sit in a giant lecture in the cafeteria and listen to the principal explain that our happy crack was a gateway drug and that it would ruin our lives. TLDR, my elementary class made a drug and ran an underground ring across the school. School wasn't happy. Happy crack, not even once. One of my teachers is very laid back but has a strict no phone rule while he's teaching. 2 kids decided to buy walkie-talkies and bring them to class just to mess with the teacher. Now at the beginning of every year or semester he writes his cell phone policy on the board as well as his no walkie-talkie rule in capital letters.